Good evening, everyone, and welcome to exciting Cypress Centurions football, coming to you live from Handle Stadium on the campus of Western High School in beautiful Anaheim, California. I am Coach Kevin Dole, joining by tonight, as usual, Coach Mo Patios, where the 5-0 Cypress Centurions begin Empire League play against a deceptively good 0-5 Tustin team, so don't let the record fool you. Should be an interesting game. What are your keys to the game tonight, Coach?
Well, for Cypress, whenever you come into a game as a heavy favorite, you want to jump on the opponent and not give them any reason to think they're going to be in this game. You look at the tail of the tape. Like you said, Cypress is 5-0 versus 0-5. You got Cypress who's currently ranked 10th in the polls. Tustin, who's the closest they are to a poll, is the flagpole in the corner of the end zone. Let's be honest, at 0-5, they're just not going to get a high rating. And so the worst thing you can do as a heavy favorite is let that opponent hang around. You look at last week's game, obviously that was going to be a tighter match. We knew that, but Cypress kind of took control early, but Capel hung around, and all of a sudden the game that Cypress was in control of, I don't want to say got away from them, but was in doubt late. So for Cypress, attack them early, stay on them, keep the pedal to the metal.
So the Centurions going to look to move to 1-0 in the Empire League. As we start league play tonight, the Centurions are obviously the prohibitive favorite. I don't think anybody's shocked to hear that. Although the Empire League is shaping up to be a league of change this year. Crean Lutheran is 5-0 right now going into the league. So they're looking to make some noise as well. And the usual suspects in the league, Kennedy, Pacifica, Valencia. So it looks to be a fun-filled and exciting 2022 Empire League season.
You know, Cypress is looking to do something never done in school history. That's 4 straight Empire League championships, and that all starts tonight with their first league opponents.
So we're about ready to begin. It's 7 o'clock exactly. Beautiful evening here in Anaheim. 74 degrees right now as it stands.
I mean, who would have thought at this time of night, this time of year, we're basically in October, we're in the 70s at 6, 7 o'clock. It's
beautiful weather.
This is week 0 weather.
Isn't this why we live in Southern California, though?
One of the many.
So Tustin will kick off the Cypress. Matthew Baldonado will be back deep alongside Jesse Malden for the Centurions. Doesn't look like Tustin has any shenanigans planned for the kickoff. Standard 5-by-5 formation. And the kick is off. Going to be fielded right at the 1-yard line by Jesse Malden. Goes up the right sideline, finds a little running room before he's finally wrapped up. Nice little return for Jesse. Referees are going to spot the ball at the Cypress 29-yard line, so a return of 28 for Malden to start the game. Ball actually be spotted at the 28. Centurions on the right hash mark. Aiden Houston in at quarterback for the Centurions. Has Nate Stein in the backfield. Little slant. Quick one to Matthew Morrell, who has some running room. He's into open space. Nice block. Morrell's going to go the distance, it looks like. Boom! Just like that. Little slant, and Morrell takes it 71 yards for the score. 1 play, 1 touchdown. Boom!
Boy, and you talked about getting off to a fast start like we just said about 30 seconds ago. That's exactly what Cypress needed. It was actually a middle screen. It was kind of took a while to develop. But nonetheless, Houston was very patient, allowed his wide receiver to get the ball, and then the offensive line did a great job blocking downfield. Just like that, 6-0 Cypress.
Yeah, middle screen, as you said. I think the Schneider leaking out, running like a flat out of the backfield, kind of caught Tustin off guard, and then Morrell just leaked out in the middle little seam there, wide open with nobody around him, and was able to get into some open space. He picked up a great block at the end there. I'm not sure who that was, but that was a great block to spring him free and get him in the end zone. And 25 seconds into the game, Logan Kennedy has kicked the extra point, and the Centurions lead 7-0.
You know, and one of the keys to executing a successful screen pass is your blocks down the field, because the play is designed to get the receiver the ball in space. But it's ultimately the lineman downfield getting on the linebackers, receivers blocking the corners and safeties. They'll give that receiver extra space to run, and they did a really good job. And I'll be curious to watch that on film after this game just to see how well they did. But a great job executing that play by the entire offense.
That Centurion offensive line consisting of Elijah Gomez, Matthew Fonseca, Hayden Frazier, Jack Rios, and Jordan Mora. Excuse me, Jordan's hurt tonight. Did a great job there. You know, getting Morrell into open space. But wow, what a start for the Centurions. So Cypress showing a different look in kickoff. They're going by 6x4 look, kicking from the left hash. Kennedy kicks it away, fielded at the 5 by Tustin. Little cut back up the middle. Has a little running room, but not a bad return for the Tillers. It's like Tustin return man there was
24.
And just a disclaimer, Tustin does not update their stats on huddle, so it's very hard to know.
I'm going to say that was Jacob Mandel, but yeah, that's who knows.
If they would update their stats and their players, it'd make
do the best, right, Coach?
That's right. Yeah.
So Tustin begins play at their own 30 in a trips formation. Little handoff, fumble, and Cypress is on it, just like that. Wow.
Peyton Johnson on the ball,
Peyton
just recovery.
Johnny on the spot.
Recovered. Peyton Johnson. Peyton.
So, wow. Not the start Tustin was looking for.
Boy, 2 plays, a touchdown for Cypress and a fumble recovery. They
Cypress takes over at the 28 of Tustin. Houston into the game, gets a play. Going back to that wing twin set from last week with Rocco Burdett in the wing right. Morrell motions. It's going to be a stretch play to him from Houston. Morrell moves forward, gets a couple yards, falls forward. A nice little gain of about 5, or let's say 6 for the Centurions, bring up 2nd and 4. Ball at the 22 of Tustin.
You know, you talk about Morrell and you think about him as a receiver, but obviously he can run the ball too, so Coach Feldman's coming up with some schemes to get him the ball, not only, you know, in terms of receptions, but run the ball as well. And on that last one, they ran a stretch play to the outside, picked up about 6-7 yards. That's not bad for your run game.
Same formation, just flipped to the opposite side for the Centurions. And wow, I tell you what, Aiden Houston faking that handoff to Schneider, he had the whole crowd fooled, including Tustin.
Well, it's basically a read. You're going to read the stretch, and you're going to watch that backside of the line. If they come crashing playing the stretch play, he's going to pull it and go against the grain and get the positive yards. And you're right, he made the right read, picked up the first down.
And he does such a good job of, you know, simulating a good mesh point with Schneider there. It's really difficult to tell who has the ball.
Yeah, that's the key. I mean, you work on that over and over and over at practice, and then, well, you got to sell it. Sell the play.
Bring up a 1st down and 10 for the Centurions from the Tustin 16. Schneider to Houston's left in the backfield. Oh, no, we have a mishap. Ball was snapped a little early by the center. Houston picks it up and scrambles. Little miscommunication there.
Bad penalty against them.
Elijah Gomez and Aiden Houston not on the same page there.
Well, it looked like Houston was audibleizing or making some kind of call to his receivers, and as he turned around, the center snapped the ball. He didn't even see it until it was way too late. Picked it up, did a good job trying to get positive yards, but then it looks like Matt Morrell laid a big hit on the receiver. It seems like every time there's a big hit nowadays, it's an automatic penalty, regardless if it's clean or not. And We'll let the referees sort that out, but that looks pretty good from up here.
You know, obviously officiating is not easy, and we commend the gentlemen that, you know, come out here, and women who come out here every week and officiate the games. We wouldn't be able to play without them. But yeah, this year there's been some really interesting, I won't say questionable calls, Coach, I'll just say interesting calls that we've seen.
I get that their mission statement is to protect the players, but a clean legal hit is a clean legal hit. I don't care how hard it is. I don't care how devastating it is. It's one thing if you launch your body into a player and drop the helmet. That's a penalty, and that's obvious. If you block in the back, that's a penalty, and that's obvious. But if there's an interception and you don't turn around, I hit you clean in front of the numbers, it's not a penalty.
It's part of the game.
Yeah, you seem to see that get flagged more and more over the last couple of years.
So with the penalty, it's going to move the Centurions back to the 42 of Tustin and bring up, first down and 31.
Oh, wide open.
Trick play, Morrell throws back to Houston, has him wide open. Houston makes a move, and he's going to get all the way back down to the 16 of Tustin, where we ended up before the last mishap.
See, that got set up by a couple of plays ago where they ran that stretch. This time they run it again. The receiver on the top of the screen, I believe it's a Z, runs like a post or slant to get rid of that corner. Houston sneaks out. And when you defend the pass, you typically don't want to count for the quarterback as a receiver, right? So he's all alone. Morrell makes the proper read, and they executed and turned to, what was that, first and about 40 into 2nd and 9.
And you know that's just devastating when Morrell has the ball in his hands, because we all know how well he can throw, having played quarterback himself last year. Morrell motions down, cuts up the seam, Houston back to throw, opposite side of the field. Oh, nicely, was looking for Caden Hollenbeck, nicely defended by the Tustin defender. That looked like it was Scott Wilson. So nicely done there for the Tillers.
Scott Wilson, the defensive back, did not get burned on the action. He ran hip to hip with the wide receiver, batted it away at the very last moment. So that's a nice job by that defensive back.
Going to bring up 3rd down and 9 for the Centurions. Ball at the 15 of Tustin. 8:34 remaining in the first quarter. If you're just joining us, the Centurions struck lightning on the first play of the game, 71 yards, Houston Morrell, to give them a 7-0 lead. Houston wants to throw, steps back in the pocket, steps up, looking to the end zone for Monteleone. Monteleone caught it. Is he in bounds? Oh, looked like he got a foot in, but the referee doesn't agree with my assertion. Therefore, it's going to bring up a 4th down and 9 for the Centurions. Logan Kennedy has enough leg to make a field goal here, so let's see what Coach Feldman elects to do.
Interesting call. You know, Coach Feldman is very aggressive on special teams, and you know, especially in this part of the end zone. You're on the left hash. That's going to be about call that a 27, 28, 29 yarder.
So Kennedy is on for the field goal attempt. And you know what? I think Coach Feldman is, you know, demonstrating some faith in Kennedy here, because obviously kick is up, and it is good for Kennedy. You know, obviously
that's why he's the head coach and we're not.
Well, I think you want your kicker to have confidence, and if you get him in a game situation like this where he's kicking under pressure, you never know in CIF in the playoffs when you're going to need a field goal kicker to win the game for you.
Well, that's just it, and you know they're going to at some point be tested.
Yeah,
and it might come down to a field goal or a PAT. And the more reps those guys get, not just in practice, because kicking field goals in practice is one thing, but in a game when it matters and it counts is much different. So the more experience they can get doing that in game-like situations, the better it's going to be for them down the road when they might really need them during a clutch situation.
And with all due respect to Tustin, I'm not sure if that would have been the same call last week against Capo. You know, Coach Feldman might have gone for it last week against Capo.
Right. Each game is different. You know, you get a feel based on how things are going. I mean, we got the turnover. The worst you can do is get a turnover and walk away with no points. So, I mean, that was a sound call, and they were rewarded for it.
Kennedy to kick off. It's going to be fielded at about the 12 by the Tillers. Return man for Tustin, nice job. Looks like that was Jordan Castro for the Tillers. Brings the ball out to ball spotted at the 24-yard line of Tustin, where they'll begin their second drive of the evening.
You know, it's funny. Every time I see Tustin, I think of Myron Miller. I think of the double wing. I mean, to this day, to see them in formation other than that is just awkward. This to me just isn't Tustin. And I say that with all due respect to Tustin, but Tustin is a double wing team.
You remember that game about 11 years ago where they run the double wing on us and they'd ran it all game long and they did that Y tight end release for like a 70-yard touchdown.
Yeah, but that's what it sets up. A good run game will set up play action.
Direct snap to number 2. Quarterback's got some room to run. Gets up the right sideline of the Centurions. And Jack Stupin, the normal guy in at quarterback for Tustin, that looks like they had Scott Wilson lined up back there, Coach.
Well, that's an interesting story because I had Stupin written down too as the sophomore, number 11, who was a transfer from Milliken, but for whatever reason he's not in tonight. I don't know if they want to go with more of a wildcat look or just to change things up. Maybe there's some issues at practice, but you're right. Their normal starting quarterback is not in at this point.
And we're going off the Cypress scouting report too, so this is all new information to the Centurions as well. See how Coach Crooks reacts to that and adjusts.
Remember, Tustin got a lot of transfers who are now eligible. CIF makes you sit out 5 games. Okay, 5-game waiting period is over, so there's been a couple guys from Huntington Beach, Milliken, and some other schools, so this could have been one of the transfers that we weren't aware of.
And he may very well have been their starter of the whole season. He just wasn't eligible to play yet. So again, Wilson under center, takes the ball right up the middle. He's gashing Cypress. He's going to go the distance, Coach. No one is going to stop him. Scott Wilson, touchdown. Tillers, 52-yard scamper for the score.
Boy, and I think we figured out why they've gotten him in the quarterback as opposed to the sophomore. He was just zone left, and he read the end, pulled it. He's off to the races.
2 plays, 2 rushes, touchdown, Tillers. So, 2 rushes for a total of 76 yards and a touchdown for Wilson right there.
Yeah, I mean, we got 17 points running halfway through the first quarter. But
extra point is blocked. So, with 7:52 remaining in the first quarter, Cypress 10, Tustin 6.
That was a big, big series for Tustin because Cypress's first play, touchdown. Tustin's first play, fumble. Cypress answers with a field goal. Now all of a sudden they're 10-0, and I'm thinking, man, we might be out of here at the running clock at halftime. And then just like that, when you think Cypress is pretty good shape, Tustin gets a huge answer after that. Not so fast.
So Coach Feldman wanders the sideline, looking to regroup. Kind of eavesdropping on Coach Crooks there. He's telling his coaching staff on the sideline to adjust the defensive ends for Cypress. Kick is up and away. It's going to be fielded by Baldonado at the 10-yard line for the Centurions. He breaks to the right, running right towards the Cypress sideline. Gets up the edge and is pushed out of bounds by the kicker. Otherwise, he might have had some pay dirt there. Kicker for Tustin making the play, Aaron Hotchkiss. So nice little return for Baldonado there. Centurions will take over at their own 42-yard line.
Coach Feldman's on the sideline making an adjustment. He's audibilizing from the sideline.
Saw something in that Tustin defense. We'll hand off to Nate Snyder. Nice run from Nate Snyder. Always moving his legs. He is just perpetual motion when you hand him the ball. He's going to pick up a gain of 12 for the Centurions. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 46 of Tustin.
Yeah, Nate got a nice push from the offensive line, but you can see how patient he is. He kind of finds his hole, pauses a second, finds the next gap, pauses, and he's a very patient runner, and he was rewarded that with the first down.
Look at the slot receiver coach, your boy, Blake Guzmano.
It's Balake.
Uh-oh. A whistle.
So Tustin saw something they didn't like, so they're going to call timeout.
Timeout Tillers on the field. Hey, once again, it's that time of the evening. Give a shout out to our boy JD. His wife, Stacia, just texted in about the game. So
you listening?
Good to hear from her. JD, up in heaven watching. Hey, God, how proud would JD be right now? How stoked would he be? Well, I mean, I know he's watching, but
loyal as Centurion.
5-0.
You think of all the hardcore Centurions, Charlie Williams, JD. Yep. I mean, he'd be on that Mount Rushmore of diehard Centurion fans. So
that's my. If I'm making the Centurion Mount Rushmore of fans, it's starting with JD DeFazio and Charlie Williams. That's for sure. So let's see what Coach Felton has dialed up here. See what adjustments the Tillers make on D. Cornerback pressed up on Morrell. Gale's out. And Houston's looking for him. What a pass. What a catch. Holy cow. Morrell's going to get in the end zone again. 44 yards. Aiden Houston, ski right to Matthew Morrell.
The corner presses up on him and then bails out the last minute, like you said, and then they run a post pattern to where the safety was. You in effect threw into double coverage. That probably wasn't the right read, but Morrell has he does such a good job with his body of getting position, getting those arms out. Even though he was in effect double covered, he was able to grab the ball, break the tackle of both the defenders, when it was probably a pass that should have been thrown at him, into a touchdown.
You see who had cornerback duties on that play, Coach? Scott Wilson, the quarterback. He was in covering Morrell.
Okay.
So, boy, God bless Scott Wilson. I mean, if he's going to play cornerback and quarterback, he's going to
definitely get some yards ran in tonight. And if he's one of those running quarterbacks, here's the hard thing for the defense. Whenever you go against a quarterback that you didn't anticipate playing and that you have no scouting report on, all different quarterbacks have different skill sets. So, we're thinking it's going to be Steuben, the sophomore, who's more of a thrower. Now you get a guy in here who's more of an athlete and a runner. You got to change your scheme on the fly. They didn't practice for this kind of quarterback during the week. So now they're going to have to make some in-game adjustments and execute.
So 6:51 left in the first quarter. Cypress 17, Tustin 6. We have played exactly 5 minutes and 9 seconds, and we got 23 points on the board already.
Did you bet the over or the under tonight?
Yeah. Logan Kennedy to kick off. Fielded by Tustin about their own 10. That's going to be a nice little return for Abraham Rosales for the Tillers. Going to bring the ball out to the 25 of Tustin. Where those stars. .6:43 remaining in the first quarter. If you're just joining us, set Cypress out to a 17-6 lead over a surprisingly high-powered Tustin offense. If you're watching this game right now, you know what I mean. Tustin with a very explosive quarterback named Scott Wilson playing for them. Wilson fakes the read, pulls the ball, and he's going to get a gain of about 3, it looks like.
Now it's pretty clear on their second series, Tustin's going to try to beat Cypress with their quarterback running the ball. Of course, when you think about a running game, you don't really account for the quarterback, but when you do decide to have him be your runner, you in effect get an extra block with now a fullback and a tailback, so it gives you that extra blocker in your run scheme.
You can only go to that well so many times, though, pulling the ball, because eventually the defense is going to adjust.
And if he's going to be running all over the field with Morrell on defense, and he's going to be having to run on offense and taking all those hits, that's a lot to ask of any player. And you got to think as the game wears on, that's going to take its toll on him.
Motion, fly motion to the receiver of Tustin. Turns out to be a stretch play, well bottled up by the Centurions. That was Angel Gutierrez on the carry for the Tillers, and he's going to pick up about 3 yards in the play. Going to bring up 3rd down and 3 for Tustin from their own 32-yard line.
We talk about how Tustin's kind of gotten away from that double wing, and it's a different team. I will say this: it's early in the game, but they haven't thrown the ball once yet tonight, so they're staying true to their ground game. It's just out of a different set.
Yeah, more of the read option run game as opposed to the double wing that we're so used to seeing for all those years in those great Myron Miller teams. Gives on the read option there, and the Centurions had it bottled up. Actually going to be a loss of 1 for the Tillers. Going to bring up a 4th and 4. I'm going to force them to punt.
It's a nice job by the defense. I'll let Tustin off the hook, give him a 1st down. Now you got a hot offense about to get the ball back.
Back deep for the Centurions is Matthew Baldonado. Corner is up, and it's going to be fielded at the 21. Muffed by Baldonado, dropped it momentarily. Picked up at the 21, brought down at the 25. Could have been a lot worse, though.
Well, that's one of those things. You got to catch the ball first before you start running. That's your number 1 responsibility on punt return, is to secure the ball. Then you start heading upfield.
Cypress will take over at their own 36-yard line. Cypress takes over on the right hash. Trips formation. Hollenbeck at tight end, running right down the seam. He's looking for Blake Cusimano and has him. My man! Blake stays on his feet. What an effort. Hollenbeck trying to drag him in the end zone. My goodness! Get it in! Give it to him! Oh, they spot him down at the 1. Hollenbeck with the assist. Dragging Blake into the end zone, or trying to. You talk about teamwork.
You got to put Balak at quarterback and let him run a sneak. That is his touchdown.
Oh, that was beautiful.
I'm telling you, man, every week that guy, he's not a secret weapon anymore. We keep talking about him as a secret weapon. He's, believe me, they've got the scouting report on him. He's not surprising anybody anymore.
I was talking to his dad about that, Tony Cusimano, before the game on the sideline, and said, yeah, when you plan for, the Centurions, you're planning for Monteleone and Morel, but how about Cusimano, man?
Well, here's the thing. The corner on Morel's side is getting help from the safety, which is fine, which means you're going to have one-on-one coverage, no safety help over the top. Houston read that and hit his man right down the middle.
What an effort. Snyder gets the handoff trying to find pay dirt for the Centurions, but the Tillers do a good job of bottling him up. So officially, that play to Cusimano is going to go down for 63 yards.
Well, here's a stat for you. Matt Morel averages 100 yards receiving per game. Balake, 102.
Wow.
He leads the team in average yards per game as a wide receiver.
By the way, Aiden Houston, first quarter, already 140 yards passing. Right around there.
There's another stud. I mean, this guy, you talk about the year he's having. Completing over 67% of his passes, 12 touchdowns to the air, 5 more on the ground.
I think he's the best dual threat quarterback in Orange County right now. I mean, and there are a bunch of great quarterbacks in Orange County, as we know, but when it comes to like dual threat, I don't know if there's anybody better than Aiden Houston. Looking for Morel in the end zone, throws the ball away.
They're on the 1 yard line. You figure they got 2 plays to get 1 yard. If you're going to throw it, 2nd down and 1 would be the play to do that.
So 3rd and goal, obviously this is easy chip shot for Logan Kennedy, but we know Coach Feldman would prefer the 6 points and the extra point as opposed to the field goal. Timeout on the field. Centurions want to talk it over. Hey, you know who I think is with us tonight? Listening, I think Jeff Halsey. Halsey and Fergie. How you guys doing?
I think Halsey's going to the UCLA game. No, that's tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
He'll be at the Rose Bowl cheering on his Bruins.
On Saturday.
We appreciate Halsey and all his support. Fergie, another big fan.
Fergie was just on another one of his epic surf trips to Mexico.
I saw those pictures.
Oh, with Kevin Hennessy and the rest of the boys.
All those old school Cypress guys.
Yeah.
Hey, another coach listening in tonight. How about Lopez?
Coach Lopez. He's over at Valley Christian now.
That's right.
Coach Lopez, how you doing, brother?
You know, I got a picture of him and Feldy in my garage. It's a great picture when they were playing
that was against Crean Lutheran
on a Saturday morning.
2018,
yeah. Lightning. They're walking out, and the caption of the picture says "Leaders Lead."
Leaders Lead.
Lopez and Feldy right there.
That was the Lightning game at Portola High School. We started on Friday night, had the game postponed until Saturday morning. Handoff. Oh, Snyder, we're trying to get in. Oh, he's bent back and stopped just a little short of the end zone.
You got to think Coach Feldman's going to go for it here on the half-yard line. Because even if we don't get it, Tustin's going to have the ball with the long way to go. So it's a good risk-reward on this part of the field.
Got another Cypress legend in the booth with us right now, Kai Kozai.
Yeah, he was one of the MVPs of those basketball tournaments a couple years ago. He was the assistant manager, so certainly his place in Cypress there as well.
Always does a great job, and we're always proud of him. Oh, we got a little shenanigans here. Houston gets under center, decides to take it himself, bounces out, gets in. He's stopped, but the second effort, sprint right, gets in, touchdown Centurions, Aiden Houston.
That was a nice job by Aiden. There was a quarterback sneak, and it got stuffed, and he, instead of just going down and trying to fight to get in the middle where there really was no room, he bounced it outside, found a gap, and turned what would have been a turnover into a touchdown.
That's got to be a backbreaker for Tustin. You think you got him all balled up, and he bounces, and basically walks in the end zone. Logan Kennedy on for the extra point. It is good. 1:13 remaining in the first quarter. Cypress 24. Tustin 6.
Well, if you like scoring, 30 points in the first quarter, and we still got a minute 13 to go. The scoreboard is lighting up tonight. You look at the body language of this Tustin team, and you know they're down 18 points, and you know they came to this game as a serious underdog. You just got to think.
I will say this, though, Coach. Tustin will not go winless this year.
Oh, they'll get a win. I have no doubt about that. It's just, you know, it's tough when you come out and get jumped on like this early on, and you know they're really facing an uphill climb going forward.
I won't say who's going to beat them, or who I think will, or who they'll beat in the Empire League, but I don't see. It's really weird because you got a couple pretty decent 0-5 teams in the county: San Juan Hills and Tustin.
Right.
Like San Juan Hills in particular. But I mean, the schedule they've played. But I mean, to show how good they are, they're still ranked.
I think they're 0-6, and they're still like 24 in the county.
Yeah.
They got the Register got a lot of heat for that. I get the argument because the record of their opponents was something like 28-2.
Yeah.
Something crazy. But you're 0-6. I don't care. Like at some point, they need to be out of the top 25.
Well, the question you have to ask is, of the 70 or 80, whatever it is, high schools in Orange County, could the teams 25 through 70 beat them? I don't know if the answer to that is yes.
Well, until they play them, we won't know.
Back to the action. Tustin with the kickoff return starts at their own 20.
Again, Tustin continues to stay on the ground. They had some success with that earlier, but at some point they're going to have to air it out because I think Cypress has made the necessary adjustments. And they're going to keep it in the box and almost dare / force Tustin to throw the ball. And the interesting thing about this Cyprus defense is their two leading tacklers are their safeties. Braden, boy, how do you pronounce that? Sjodstrom is the leading tackler on defense.
Oh, Braden Sjodstrom, yeah.
Yeah, from Cyprus. And then Trevor Monteleone is number 2, the strong safety.
Trevor Monteleone, I heard through the grapevine today, Steve Fryer is already mentioned him as a possible candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. He's had that great a season already. And obviously, you know, there's a lot more of the season left, but I guess what it amounts to is the level at which Trevor is playing is so phenomenal, and he's already garnered that kind of respect from the sports writers and other coaches and opponents.
I know Fryer is a big Monteleone fan. He's talked about him quite a bit in his write-ups. He was one of the top rated players. Remember at the start of the season, they rated the top 50 players in Orange County. He was pretty high up there along with Morrell. And yeah, Fryer's real big on Trevor, and rightfully so. He's a two-way player, two-way impact player, second on the team in tackles as a safety. So he's certainly having himself a heck of a season.
So that brings us to the end of the first quarter. They'll flip sides of the field. Cyprus in command, 24, Tustin 6. Hey, you know who's with us as usual again tonight, Coach?
Who's that?
The Morrell family in Oregon. Aunt Betty and cousin Jerry in Ashland, Oregon. Then cousins Tim and Andrea in Central Point, Oregon. Our favorite Oregon football fans listening in, and already, boy, Matthew's giving them something to cheer about.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things when you got a top-notch player, you want to make sure you get the ball in their hands, and certainly Coach Feldman has done a good job of drawing up plays and schemes to make sure they do that.
Of course, his dad, the legendary Eric Morrell, class of '82 at Cyprus. Remember, little Cyprus trivia and history for you. In the 1981 season, Eric Morrell was the quarterback, and his star receiver was none other than Coach Rick Feldman.
There you go. So that's a relationship that goes pretty far back. It's pretty cool. They're still friends after all these years, and now Coach Feldman's not only coaching his son, but he's got a son on the team that's an impact player.
So Tustin has switched it up. Coach into the game is Jack Stupin at quarterback.
That was the quarterback we anticipated starting. It's their first throw of the night, but it was incomplete by quite a big margin. So maybe they felt he's not quite up to par to beat a Cyprus quality team, and they thought by running the ball with their other quarterback would be the key to success. But I think since Cyprus has made those adjustments, it's tough sledding for this Tustin offense.
Yeah, as you said, Stupin, the transfer from Long Beach Milliken, 6'3", 210. Going to bring up fourth down for Tustin. A long 12 to go, so they will punt as they're at their own 16-yard line. Snap is good. The punt is away. Short punt. The Centurions are just going to let it roll around, and they're going to start in Tustin territory at the 45.
Punt only got about 26 yards, so that's a good break for Cyprus. Now they just got to take advantage of it.
So Cyprus will begin on the left hash. Going to a trips formation, Hollenbeck at the tight end. Hand off to Schneider, who tries to go up to A-gap, but bounces outside and is going to get a little bit of a gain. Looks like one. Going to bring up second down and 9 for the Centurions from the 44 of Tustin.
Nate Schneider, the leading rusher for the Cyprus Centurion team. A lot of the success they had on offense this year through the air, but certainly having that threat on the ground forces defense to keep you honest. So get him involved will really help the Cyprus offense as the season progresses.
Trips left. Houston takes a snap, rolls to his left, throws across his body. Oh! Had Blake Cusimano wide open, just a little too much mustard on it. Blake couldn't reel it in. That was impressive, Coach.
Yeah, one of the Cyprus cheerleaders on the track's done about 4, 5, 7 flips, and then a somersault flip.
I have never been able to do that.
No. That's Jedi type stuff.
Yeah, that was really cool. Props to him. 3rd down and 9 from the 44 of Tustin. Morrell again motions, comes back out. 3-by-1 formation. Houston wants to throw. He's looking deep down the field. Throws into triple coverage, almost picked off. Boy, they had triple coverage on Morrell there.
Yeah, Trevor Montaloni was wide open on the near side. I understand why Houston wants to go to one of his favorite targets, but you got to read the defense. I mean, you got 3 defenders. I don't care how good your receiver is. You got to consider other options.
Well, what's Coach Feldman do here? Obviously, he's going for it. This is not really punt territory and too far for a field goal. Oh, maybe we are going to punt, as there's going to be a holding call.
On the 45, pin him. Your defense is playing great. You made the adjustments. Why give him the ball at midfield and give him a chance to get back in this? I think this is the right call, no doubt about it. But it's tempting because your offense has been on fire, and you've let a couple get away, but you got to be smart about it.
Fake punt, Morrell, and Morrell, gets tripped up. Morrell with the Australian-style punt there, sprinted to his left and decided not to punt it away. The rugby-style punt kept running, and he gets tripped up. Nicely defended by Tustin.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't kick that. I mean, we do that all the time at the freshman level, and you're going to roll out. And the rule is if a defender stays home or comes, you kick it away. Lots of times they don't, and they bail out and they go to cover, and then you got the green light to go. But in that situation, Tustin wasn't fooled at all, and really Morrell should have kicked that one.
So Tustin will begin on their own 44-yard line. Their best starting field position of the evening so far.
This is a huge opportunity for Tustin. You got a break from Cypress turning the ball over on the fake punt. The question is, can they do something with it?
So Tustin has gone back to their original quarterback of the evening, Scott Wilson. High snap, he feels it. Had a miscommunication on the handoff there. Looked like it was a designed read play. It was supposed to be handed off to Josiah Ayano, but he went to the wrong side. So when Wilson went to hand the ball to him, there was nobody there.
Yeah, the quarterback opened up to the left, the running back went to the right. Now they're pulling him out, so I wonder if that was on the quarterback. Actually, it looks like it's just going to play for the coach. But yeah, you got to be on the same page.
Into the ball game at running back for the Tillers is Matt Rodriguez. Second down, call it 10 and a half for the Tillers. Little handoff, bottled up on the Centurions. No such luck there for Matt Rodriguez on that carry. Instantly hit, no gain. Going to bring up 3rd down and 10 for Tustin.
They tried to trap the defensive end of Cypress, but Kyle Townsend, the big defensive tackle, number 65, did a good job plugging up the middle, preventing the back from getting any kind of positive yardage. And now at 3rd and 10, Tustin's going to probably have to throw for just the 2nd time tonight. And that's been a threat to their offense. It really hasn't been all that effective up until this point.
Kyle Townsend getting some quality minutes here for the Centurions. Nice add to the defense this year. 6'2", 280. A stoppage on the field. Timeout, Tustin. 8:45 left in the first half. Cypress 24, Tustin 6.
Shout outs.
You need uniforms for your athletic teams? Do you need banners for your athletic fields or for your businesses? If you do, go see my buddy Paul Lopez at Hilo Brown Industries, 6895 Oslo Circle, Unit F in Buena Park. Or give him a call, 714-369-4273. 714-369-4273. Hilo Brown Industries, the best in the business for all your sports apparel, uniforms, and sign-making needs. So Tustin looking here at a critical 3rd down and 10 situation. See what they got dialed up here. They come out in a 3-by-1 formation to the field side. And let's see what Scott Wilson's got planned here for the Tillers. Takes a snap, sprints left, looks like a design quarterback run, and he's going to get nothing. The Centurions read that wonderfully, almost as if they knew what was coming.
Well, it's tough if you're Tustin. Cypress really is not playing the pass at all. There's no threat of a passing game, so they're playing the run all night long. And unless Tustin can get some success in the air, they're just going to face an A-man front all night long. It's going to be really tough to move the ball against the Cypress defense.
One of your best defenders ever that you coach, Jacob Wilkie with the tackle.
Yeah, he's some of our best players are on this team right now. I mean, all the years I coached freshmen, it's about 15, 16, 17 years. If I was to make an all-time team, you'd have about 8 of those guys on the varsity level right now.
So Tustin punts, Baldonado fields the ball at around his own, let's say, 25. Gets a nice little return towards the Tustin sideline. Ball is going to be spotted at the Cypress 33, where it will be 1st and 10. Houston comes back out for that high-powered Centurion offense. 3-by-1 formation with Monteleone and Morrell stacked out to the left, but Morrell motions across the middle. Going to settle down on the other side. Snap to Houston. Under some pressure, and he's going to go down. Nice pass rush there for the Tillers.
Boy, and Nate Schneider was wide open on the flat. He kind of snuck out there, and none of the Tustin defenders saw him. Unfortunately, because there was defenders in Houston's face, he didn't see it, but that could have been a huge pickup for Cypress.
Going to bring up 2nd down and 18 for the Centurions.
You talk about size. How about this for a defensive line? 304, 290, 305. Wow. There's some big boys to block, so if they can get a good push, it's going to be hard for that Cypress offensive line.
You mentioned, or Coach Williams over the public address mentioned that was an 8-yard loss for the Centurions. You know what? I don't think that should go against the quarterback's rushing stats. You like to see that rule get changed? What do you think of that rule?
For some reason, I thought they did change it to where sacks go against your. Well, hold on.
Nice little fake read. Throw out to the flat to Morrell. Going to be a good pickup. Yeah, if they did change it, that's good, because I never thought that was really fair to the quarterback's stats,
Right. I get the argument either way. You can argue that, well, he was, in effect, running the ball, even though it was a pass.
Yeah.
It was against the rush, but I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I don't have a problem with it either way.
Play is going to be nullified.
Back in the day, quarterbacks really didn't run like they do nowadays.
Right,
so it didn't really matter if you lost rushing yards, because there were really no running backs. And the ones that did were scramblers, as opposed to now with the RPO and quarterbacks who are designed to run the ball.
Well, like Lamar Jackson, he's got a chance to have 4,000 passing yards this year and 1,000 rushing. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a different game. But, that you talk about the NFL, to hold up at that level for that many games year after year, those running quarterbacks really take a lot of damage, and they don't last that long. Remember, RG3, and there were some great quarterbacks in college who could run forever. But when you get to the NFL, it's a different speed. Those athletes are physical. Look how great Tim Tebow was in college. And then the pros, he was average at best. He had a decent year, but
RG3.
Right. It's a different game. It's a different speed. And to your point with Lamar, to play as well as he's had over the many years he has, that says a lot. But that's going to add up quick. Those guys don't last that long. They can't.
Cypress has taken a timeout. Coach Feldman wanted to talk some things over with the Centurions.
And to your point, let's look at arguably the three best quarterbacks ever: Brady, Manning, and Breeze. They might not have 100 yards rushing between the three of them their entire career. I mean, you got to drop back and say, you don't want to get hit in the NFL.
That's true.
Do not want to get hit if you're a quarterback. So,
and there's a reason all those guys played a really long time. Houston spits out his front. Oh! Almost an amazing catch by Morrell, but he tips it into the defender's hand. Look who had the interception. Scott Wilson.
That was a little waggle action. He's going to fake one away, boot out. He had a corner route and looked like a post, but again, he threw into coverage and the ball's bad in the air. Bad things can happen. Unfortunately for Cypress, Tustin came down with the interception.
You know, you talk about the longevity. Your father played 13 years in the NFL, which is a long time. But just with the nutrition and all the weight programs these guys have, like Tom Brady playing 23 years, that's just unbelievable.
Well, even you're right. Like tennis, you guys like Federer, Djokovic, Nadal play. By the time you hit 30 back in the day in tennis, you were done.
Yeah.
That was it. These guys are playing well into their 30s.
How about another amazing one? You remember Zdeno Chara for the Boston Bruins? The guy was like 6'8". Sure. He just announced his retirement. He was 45. He played 24 years in the National Hockey League. First ballot Hall of Famer.
A huge science in nutrition, and that's something we've only discovered in recent years. I mean, back in the day, they didn't even think like that. In fact, you would go to training camp for 2 days to get in shape. Now, football, fitness is a year-round job. These guys are testing their blood levels. I mean, they've got this whole thing dialed down. And as a result, they're lasting a lot longer and they're playing a lot longer because their bodies can handle the wear and tear.
I remember you telling me stories about when your dad played in the NFL. All those guys he played with, they had jobs in the off season.
Yeah, they were used car salesmen, or whatever they had to do, because playing football is almost like a coaching stipend for us.
Yeah,
it wasn't what they made nowadays, not even close.
Your dad, of course, was successful in the business world with pro medals and all.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a different era back then. It's a different time now. Back to the action, had a little mishap there. Referees have stopped the play. Ball spotted at the 47 of Tustin. Going to bring up second down and 13.
Well, Cypress has given Tustin a couple opportunities tonight with the turnovers, but up until this point, Tustin hasn't been able to take advantage of it. At some point at Tustin, you've got to be able to do that if you're going to get back in this ball game.
Tustin keeps winging to block, going down the field, left side. Contact, incidental, ball caught anyway. Holy cow. I mean, that's great coverage on the play by Bobby Castillo, but the Tustin receiver just hauled it in regardless.
Sometimes great coverage is no substitute for a great throw and a great catch. I mean, the quarterback put the ball right where it had to be on the money, and even though the defender was with him hip to hip, that's just a nice job by the quarterback and receiver executing on the go route.
So Tustin in business here. We've got the ball all the way down to the 15 of Cypress now, where they'll take over 1st and 10, trailing 24-6 with 5:14 left in the half. Snap to Jack Stupin. Handoff. Going to be a pickup of about 2 for the Tillers. So looks like Tustin is in platoon mode as far as quarterbacking goes.
Yeah, and you wonder if that's one of those things where they're just trying to show Cypress different looks because the quarterbacks do have very different skill sets. And so each time a different quarterback comes in, the Cypress defense is forced to adjust.
You don't want to be too obvious if you're Tustin, though. I mean, if Stupin's in, we're passing. If Wilson's in, we're running.
And that's the thing. If you start getting into tendencies and things like that, it's another advantage for the defense.
Motion is Larry Allen for the Tillers. Stupin out to throw. Allen in the flat, breaks a tackle, gets knocked out of bounds. Tustin's going to have 1st and goal, it looks like, Coach.
They're down near the 3-2-3 yard line, so.
Not quite. They're going to roll it 3rd down. Okay, ball spotted at the 7 of Cypress. I got to imagine this is definitely four down territory for the Tillers.
Without question. They've got 2 plays to get 1 yard.
Yeah, field goal doesn't really do much good here. Still be a 2-score game. 4:17 left in the half, 24-6 Cypress. 3rd down 1, Tustin from the Cypress 7.
Boy, and they're going to get delayed game if they don't get going here. Ref's got his hand up.
Stupin gets under center. They're going to call a timeout.
They're out of timeouts. They better figure this out quick. How's it
yelling for a delay game? Coach Feldman is begging and pleading with the ref.
Wow.
That was a long time, Coach.
I mean, if you rewind the YouTube video when this game is over, go back to this point in the game.
I'm going to say that was 40 seconds.
Now, the referee will put his hand up, signaling that he's in his head doing the 24/7 or the clock, and he never did. He never flagged him, and it's unfortunate because Tustin's out of timeouts. They can't stop the clock even if they wanted to without getting a penalty. They are going to go for it here on 4th and 1.
All right, so here we go. 4th and 1. Tustin going for it. Stupin under center. Hands off. Little inside give. Looks like the runner falls forward for Tustin. And it looks like.
I'll tell you what, if I'm Coach Feldman, I'm very frustrated because that referee, I think what happened was he kind of lost track of the game clock and didn't really think about delay game.
It looked like he got kind of caught up in the full thing.
But that's still no excuse. You're paid to do a job and they need to know better. But it is what it is. Cypress is have to overcome and adjust.
Looks like that was Anthony Gonzalez for the Tillers getting the 1st down. Timeout on the field as we have a player down. Say hi to the Cypress High School athletic directors, Mr. Jeff Russell and Mr. Mark Slevko. Hey, Slevy sent you an interesting text. Why don't you tell us about the history that the Centurions can make tonight?
So, if I understand it correctly, let me pull it up. If they win tonight, their all-time record will be 238, 238, and 3.
Wow.
They'll be even 500. But here's the interesting thing. Since 2005, Cypress is 131 and 67.
Since Ray Fenton arrived.
So since Coach Fenton arrived, they've just been on a tear, and they seem to be getting progressively better every year.
4 gentlemen have been at the helm for the Centurions since 2005. Of course, Ray Fenton, followed by Mike Cobley and Bob Burt, and of course now in his 9th campaign, Rick
He was
Feldman.
the dean of Cypress coaching. He beat Crabb and Selby, who were both tied at 8 years.
He is the dean. He sits by himself on that throne. Stupin back in, fakes a handoff, look to pass, tries to run, met by a host of Centurions. Going to be brought down for a loss.
Play action down the goal line. If your player's not open right away, it's going to be problematic because you've got every defender up on the line. So you got to read it and throw it right away because if you hang on, you're definitely going to get sacked.
It's going to bring out 2nd down and goal for Tustin from the 10-yard line of Cypress. Stupin looking out to the edge. Nice pass. Is it caught? Touchdown. Bobby Castile on the defense, but boy, great back shoulder throw and great adjustment by the receiver to get to the ball. You got to give Stupin credit. That's wonderfully done for the Tillers.
Well, Castillo took away the inside leverage, which is fine, but the receiver just did an outside release, and like you said, Stupin put it right where it had to be, and that was just good positioning by Tustin because of the way Cypress had schemed it defensively.
So Stupin, the transfer from Long Beach Milliken, kid has a good arm. Tustin on for the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. So, new ball game, Coach. 2:03 left in the half. Cypress 24, Tustin 13.
And remember, that all came off the interception, so Tustin's able to take advantage of the Cypress turnover, and I'll tell you what, I don't care how much better you are than another team. If you lose that turnover battle, that can be the ultimate equalizer.
So Cypress putting up 24 in the first quarter. Haven't put a point up in the second quarter.
And again, a lot of that's been their own doing, so they need to settle down, get back to what they do best, and just start executing, because you're right. That sloppy play in the second quarter has allowed Tustin to hang around and get back in this ballgame.
This is kind of like we're at that point now in the game where, like, Tustin's creeping back in, and you need to score here for Cypress because you don't want Tustin going into halftime with any sort of confidence whatsoever.
Oh, and Cypress certainly have their foot on the neck, and we're about to finish it off. But again, turnovers, that will definitely cause a sudden change more than anything else. And so, again, we got a little bit of a ball game here. There's still plenty of time, 2 minutes to go in the half. Cypress has one timeout left. So you're right. If they can get a score before half, they can get that momentum back.
2 minutes and 3 seconds is an eternity for Coach Feldman, though. Tustin, little squib kick down the middle, bounce around. Oh, having some issues fielding it, but it's eventually picked up by Baldonado, who's running around, still not tackled, and finally brought down by Tustin at the 25 of Cypress.
That's a great effort by Baldonado, just keeping his feet going, and sure looked like he was going to break it a couple of times.
Finally getting down to 20-yard line. First we get a physical carry.
.150 remaining in the first half. Houston takes a snap, throws out to Morrell. Wide side of the field, Morrell's got some space. Spins forward, and boy, every time Matthew Morrell touches the ball, it's either a touchdown or a first down.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got such electric speed, and he runs so hard. I mean, as a defender, you have to wrap up and tackle, otherwise he's gone.
1st and 10, Cypress from their own 40, and looks like we're going to have a little false start in the play, which is going to cost the Centurions some valuable real estate and draw the ire of Coach Feldman.
Well, that's interesting because all three receivers took off, so you wonder what, you might have one guy jump off because he gets a snap count, but all three go. Something funky was going on down there.
Houston out to Morrell again. Morrell goes up the left sideline, has some room, jukes the defender. Morrell's going to go the distance again, Coach, and less. Oh, safety saves the day. Comes over, knocks Morrell out at about the 7. So that's going to be a pickup of 53 for the Centurions. Excuse me, 58.
It's going to sound crazy, but with a minute 15 left, it's probably not that bad. Now, of course, we want Cypress to score the touchdown, but you don't want to give Tustin much time left, so the clock will run. You got plenty of time now. Relax, call your plays, and if you can score with under 30 seconds left, you figure Tustin will go into the halftime, not even attempt to try to get a touchdown.
Interesting spot by the refs.
You must have stepped out of bounds because it looked like they'd tackled him on the 2.
Refs have determined that the ball is spotted at the 10-yard line of Tustin, where it'll be 1st and goal to go with 1:15 remaining in the first half. Houston back to pass, looks to the end zone, looking for Monteleone, and overthrows him.
Yeah, I'll amend my last statement. I thought he was down the 2-yard line, so at that point you could have taken your time, just gotten a jumbo and scored on the second, third play on the 10, and you need the touchdown.
Caden Hollenbeck getting a lot of playing time at tight end this evening for the Centurions.
Here's an interesting stat on him. He plays defensive line on defense. Tied for first on the team with interceptions with 2 as a defensive lineman.
That's impressive.
J.J. Watt Award.
Houston rolls his right. As Cusimano makes a catch in bounds.
Well, that was on Houston. Balake was wide open in the end zone, and Houston was rolling out to the right, and when he threw the ball, it just kind of sailed on him. If he had thrown it more of a dart, hit Blake, that would have been a touchdown, easily.
Once again, the offensive line for the Centurions doing a good job giving Houston time to throw. Elijah Gomez, Matthew Fonseca, Hayden Frazier, Jack Rios, and Gavin Souza. Didn't you once tell me, Coach, that Hayden Frazier was the best lineman you ever coached?
Him and Fonseca and Hollenbeck all on that side, tight end, tackle, guard. We'd run power and just wash the whole deal. It was, I saved those plays on huddle.
Touchdown, Centurions. Handoff, Aiden Houston.
That's a nice job by
Nate
Cypress
Schneider.
answering.
That's a huge touchdown, and that took Cypress 1 minute and 8 seconds.
Now we get back to that offensive line. Hollenbeck, Hayden and Fonseca. Those guys were just animals. I mean, that was the COVID year. We got cheated out of 5 games. I would have loved to finish that season because and again, I'm being biased here. We were 5-0. They would have been 10-0.
Frazier, only a junior, 6'4", about 295. That is a D1 prospect, Coach.
And he's a great kid.
He's a great coach.
You had him
great
as a teacher.
He was in my class last year, sophomore English. Wonderful young man.
Yes, sir. No, sir. Always says hi to me.
Great kid.
Yeah.
Smart, articulate. One of those well-spoken offensive linemen, you know.
Well, I got plenty of his freshman film, so if you need some per huddle to send those recruits, I'll be more than happy to fire them out for you.
You know, those smart lineman type, Tony Boselli, Larry Allen, you know, those guys. Logan Kennedy on for his 4th extra point attempt of the evening. Oh, missteps and barely gets up on top of the ball. I think there was a slip. Or I don't know if he took a wrong step. But
both teams have missed a PAT tonight, ironically enough. So
interesting there. Uncharacteristic of Kennedy. 55 seconds remaining in the first half. Cypress bolsters its lead to 30-13. See if special teams coordinator Coach Terry Thompson has anything up his sleeve here. He's electing to kick the ball from the left hash and go with a 4-by-6 formation. Ball is going to sail out of bounds for a penalty. Will Tustin take it or make Cypress re-kick?
Most teams take the penalty. I like making them go back 5 yards because it puts a little more pressure on them. They just sprinted down. Now they got to jog back and sprint again. They're just a little bit gassed. And those little things can be the difference between, you know, a big kickoff return and a touchdown. So it looks like Tustin's going to take the penalty, but I always like pushing them back and making them do it again.
Yeah, making the guys run down the field a second time, maybe a little gas, like I said. It's all the game within the game, right?
And you're getting the ball in the 35. They should probably get that anyway on a standard return with the 5-yard penalty. So I always say make them kick it again, but that's just me.
That cheerleader dude just did a bunch of backflips again. I'm like, wow. That's impressive. Again, that's impressive. I know I said that before, but it's impressive again. Like we got a little handoff from Stupin.
Well, it's tough for Tustin because they don't have much of a passing threat. The worst thing you can do is start trying to get big yards and throw an interception, give Cypress the ball back. So it looks like they're just going to try to run it out, hoping they can break one. But anything short of that, Tustin should go into the halftime with a 17-point lead.
Josiah Iano for the Tillers with a nice carry. Going to bring up 2nd down and 1 from the 44 of the Tillers.
Linda.
Stupid again, the handoff. Ooh, the Centurions balled it up that time. Iano.
Nothing for Tustin. They burned all their timeouts earlier in the first half, so it looks like they're just let this clock die down and go down 17.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they have any intention of bringing Wilson back in the game. for maybe some late half heroics. Stupin's just standing towards the Tiller sideline. His teammates are going to follow him over there. And Tustin's going to elect to let the first half run out. So, at the end of the first half, from Handle Stadium here at Western High School, it is the Cypress Centurions 30, the Tustin Tillers 13. Please stay tuned and enjoy our halftime show with the Royal Centurion Marching Brigade, led by Mr. James Carrion.
When all the sunshine, I just got me a whole case of worry about mine. I showed up on time. These girls should get inside. Ooh, snitch you better. Ooh, snitch you better. Ooh, snitch you better. Shut the hell up, should know better. Work it, work it, work it, work it, work it, work it, work it. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it.
All right, welcome back, everyone. About ready to begin the second half of action here. Cypress leading 30-13 over Tustin. So Coach Patios, what are your keys to the game for the second half?
Well, for Cypress, I mean, the only thing that really hurt them in the first half was protecting the ball. Turnovers, one, of course, led to one of the Tustin touchdowns. So if they can secure the ball and just play offense where they've been playing all night, I think they're in good shape. But they can't let Tustin get any big plays. Don't let them off the hook. You've got them in good position. Now just finish it.
So Cypress will kick off the Tustin to begin the second half. Logan Kennedy kicks the ball. It's fielded at about the 10-yard line of the Tillers, where it's returned by Josiah Ayano. And he's going to be brought down by a host of Centurions. See where the referees elect to spot the ball. Looks like it's going to be at the 25 of Cypress, so a nice little 15-yard return for Josiah Ayano. See who the Tillers bring out at quarterback as they've been using a platoon system tonight between Jack Stupin and Quincy Hawkins, as it turns out.
So they're going to go Stupin, the sophomore from Milliken.
Has a single back with him in the backfield, takes a step and gives the ball to Ayano. Cuts back, he's got some room to run, he's got a seam, and is going to be brought down. Thankfully, tackled there by, looks like, for the Centurions, touchdown saving tackle by Destin Sanchez, it looks like.
And now it's just a basic zone left and back. Estes found the hole. He's only a junior. Did a good job getting up in there and getting up in open space, picking up a big first down for Tustin on the first play of the second half.
That's a good start for the Tillers as they matriculate the ball into Cypress territory, and we'll have a first down and 10 at the 45 of the Centurions.
Well, they tried the same thing again, but that time Rocco Burdett, the middle linebacker, read it, filled the gap. Of course, Rocco, the middle linebacker, is number 3 on the team of tackles. It looks like there's Cypress has got a player
Looks like
down
there's
there.
some confusion on the play, too, because the right side, the entire right side of the offensive line of Tustin just released and went downfield, and, I mean, there was essentially no one there for them to block. Got us breaking the action as one of the Centurions is down. So, Coach Patios, what are Sean Clark and Erica Kula doing right now?
Living the dream, man. Laying out by the pool,
Holy
jacuzzi,
cow.
having a couple of beverages, watching some Cypress TV,
Wow.
cheering on their mighty Centurions.
Coach Sean Clark and Coach Erica Kula living the good life. Wow.
Kind of rubbing it in our faces.
Holy
We
cow.
might have to swing by and crash that party after
You
this.
know what? Yeah, we might need to.
In fact, if Cypress could take care of business and get us to a running clock, it might just happen.
That is I got to tell you, Erica Kula, that is a great setup you've got going there. Holy cow. Coach Feldman doesn't like what he sees. He's motioning for some Centurions to come out there and help. Looks like Gavin Souza's down. Excuse me.
Kyle Townsend.
Kyle Townsend, I'm sorry, 65 for the Centurions. But he's up and walking under his own volition, which is always good. Back to the action. Going to bring up 2nd down and 8 for Tustin from the 43 of Cyprus. Stooping back to throw, has a lot of time, goes down the left sideline, overthrows his intended receiver. Nice coverage there, though, for the Centurions, provided by Destin Sanchez.
The quarterback had a little bit of a beat on it, but just a little too high, too far out of the reach of receiver. Now it looks like we got another player down on field.
Of course, the Tustin player down on the field, hoping he's all right, perhaps just a cramp. However, we're starting to get away from that type of weather, aren't we, Coach? It's not August anymore. It's almost October.
Yeah, and I brought my jacket just in case. It's one of those things where right when that sun goes down, it goes from about 80-something to 70-something real quick, and then it keeps dropping and dropping.
It can get breezy here in Anaheim as well, especially when you're up in the box like we are. You can get the cold can come upon you very quickly.
You know, one of the areas that Tustin has struggled tonight is their passing game, and the last thing they can afford to lose is a receiver. So we hope the gentleman's down is just out for a couple plays and get back in the ball game, because they really don't want to lose any more receivers, because that's one area they've really struggled tonight.
Hey, say hi to our old friend, Dr. Kevin Hodgson.
Is he listening?
I think Dr. Hodgson's with us tonight, so as usual, miss you, Dr. Hodgson. Hopes all is good. Say hi to his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Hodgson, watching in West Covina. Hope all is well for you as also. Back to the action again, going down the left sideline, trying to make something happen.
That was the right read by the quarterback. Cypress spot both their outside linebackers, so he had one-on-one on the go route, but he just couldn't find the receiver to make the connection.
Looks like Jesse Malden on the coverage there for the Centurions. Going to bring up 4th down and 8 for the Tillers, and they're electing to go for it. I guess chasing 17 now. Got to make something happen here. Ball spotted at the 43 of Cyprus. Stupin takes a little snap back to pass, lobs the ball up again down the left sideline, adjusted to by the receiver, but no such luck.
Well, that's the 3rd straight play they ran the same route. I mean, they're reading. It's the right throw and the right read based on what Cypress is doing. They're blitzing, so he's got the one-on-one down the far sideline. It's just Cypress is doing a good job covering it, but that is the right throw.
Going after Braden Shostrom on that, and to Braden's credit, he covered that well, and he said, you know what? Go ahead, keep throwing to my side. I'll defend that. So Houston onto the field for the first time in the second half of the Centurions, where he'll take over from his own 43-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Centurions. To the left side, you have Cusimano Morel stacked with Monteleone out wide to the right, to their left. Again, little drop pass to Morel and makes some yards out of nothing, keeps going. Automatic offense every time. Boom, boom, boom. Matthew Morel is just automatic.
He's got fast feet, and he makes people miss, and it's hard as a defender. I mean, if you're going to tackle him, you've got to wrap up. You cannot be diving out of windows. You can't be grabbing at the legs. You got to square up and bring him down, because he's just too fast and explosive.
Ball spotted at the 24-yard line. Of course, we know of the athletic prowess of Matthew Morel in baseball, who has been clocked at being able to pitch at 94 miles an hour. But the urban myth is his greatest sport is volleyball, believe it or not.
He doesn't even play it, right?
Exactly. He's a pretty special football player, though, I'll tell you that much.
Well, he's committed to play at Oregon State, And I'm sure there's going to be other offers rolling in, and not just baseball, but football as well as the season progresses. So it'll be interesting to see if he ends up going there or if some other opportunities present themselves if he decides to go a different route.
I know that you would love a certain school in Westwood to give him an opportunity.
Trust me, UCLA could use the players. So we'll take what we can get right now.
We're going to bring up 2nd down and 7 for the Centurions. Ball placed at the 21 of Tustin. Burrell motions down. Houston out to his right, throws to wide open Cusimano. Once again, Blake, extra effort.
How many touchdowns has he been about 3 yards or less short this year? I mean, I can think of 4 instances where he could have, would have, or should have had a touchdown. He just came up just a little bit short.
Into the game for the Centurions, Rocco Burdett.
And that's another Tustin player down. It looks like from here, number 2, who of course is their quarterback, at least one of them. So that's certainly a position you can't afford to lose.
Quincy Hawkins looks to be the player down for the Tillers at the moment. And while we have a moment, I'd like to thank the Cypress High School Athletic Booster Club, as well as the Cypress High School Football Booster Club. Thank you for all your support, all the wonderful volunteer hours you put in to make athletics in Cypress a reality, and of course, the support that you afford the football program.
So that's the second skill player from Tustin to go down, and it looks like in both cases it's cramping, and you wonder if these are those guys who just became eligible, because these are injuries you typically see at the start of the year when they're not quite hydrated and in shape. So, and that is their quarterback. So I'll just say this: once you start cramping, it doesn't just go away on its own. That's something he's been fighting all night long. So
not really cramping type weather. It's currently 71 in Anaheim. However, Coach Charlie Williams just confirmed with me that the gentlemen that are cramping up, this is indeed their first game. So that would explain that.
Yep.
Coach Padios, this guy is doing flips again.
And that's got the crowd fired up, because that's the last they've been cheering. Every time he starts doing his flips, the crowd goes crazy.
Little break in the action on the field. 2nd down, goal to go for the Centurions. The ball marked at the 5-yard line of the Tustin Tillers. Rocco Burdett comes off the field, as does Memphis Stover. Aiden Houston back on.
Those are their jumbo guys, so it looks like he's going to go more to a traditional set as opposed to trying to pound it in.
Look at Caden Hollenbeck, wide to the top of the field, Coach. Little RPO action from Houston, gives the ball to Nate Schneider, who carries it down to the 1-yard line. Bring up 3rd down, goal to go for the Centurions.
Hey, how about girls volleyball? Beat Tustin today, 12-1 on the season. They're having themselves a nice little run.
They are a machine.
They got a shot to win this whole thing in either Division I or Division II, wherever they end up. But they're on a roll this year, so nice job, ladies.
Keep it rolling. Not quite as generous with the spot as I thought they were originally, as the ball rests at the 3-yard line. Houston again, handoff. Schneider to the right side is going to waltz into the end zone. Hader, touchdown. Nate Schneider and the Centurions.
You got to think at this point, if Cypress can get a couple more stops on defense, they'll start clearing up the benches and getting some of these backups some playing time, because you know, they practice a lot too and they work hard too. So anytime you get a game that's a blowout, you like to see get those guys in. And how about my boy Elliot Lemonier, who's a great kid. He's an outstanding quarterback. I'd love to see him get some reps, because he's very deserving of it. Elliot is
a wonderful, wonderful football player and an even better person. So, 6:44 left in the 3rd quarter. Centurions increase their lead to 37-13.
Also, you just need enough basketball so that you want to get them through the back on the field.
I just got an update about a certain pitcher on the Angels who's doing something very special this evening, but you know that you're not supposed to talk about it. So you baseball fans out there know what I'm referring to, but I'm not going to say exactly.
Can you say what inning they're in?
I have it through 6 innings. And
if you're a fan of baseball or very rare things happening, you might want to check out the Angel game.
And it would be Mr. Ohtani pitching.
What's he doing?
Can't say, Coach.
You sure?
Yeah, I just have to. You'll have to tune in for yourselves or get updates on your cellular device. But yeah, I'm not going to say what's happening in the Angels game right now.
But something special potentially.
Something special potentially. I know if our buddy John Weber's listening, he'll appreciate that too.
I understand that on the sideline tonight. I see.
Who we got down there? Coach Russell, Coach Lewis, Coach Lujan.
Let's say Lujan, yeah.
Coach Slavkov.
Coach Penn sitting down on the chair.
In his usual position of esteem.
We got Lumberg in the house down on the goal line, other side of the field. Looking like a big pumpkin.
As usual, I talked to Chief Mark Louderback on the sideline before the game. Always good to see him. Also say hi to our school resource officer, Angus Yu. And as usual, we want to thank the Cypress Police Department. We love you guys. The fine men and women of the Cypress Police Department that keep us all safe, as well as the Orange County Fire Authority in Cypress. And all the first responders and our military, of course. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot thank you enough for all the great work that you folks do. So Tustin electing to go with Stupin. Very conservative play calling there. A little inside handoff. It's not going to get much. Gain of 2, so bring up 2nd down and 8. Another player down on the field, this time for the Centurions. Looks like just a cramp, though.
Yeah, when they start stretching that calf out, it's 99% of the time a cramp. Actually, that's the 3rd cramp we've had in this quarter, and like you said, it's not really cramping weather, but sometimes the wear and tear of the season, maybe had those hot Doritos at lunch, that can certainly
yeah,
it drives me nuts when I see our athletes at lunch eating that stuff. We tell them over and over, don't eat the high salt foods, and that's just one of those things, but this is what it can lead to, and I'm not saying he did that, but it is certainly possible.
We just had Adam Costanza checking in for the Centurions on defense. Player on the field still down. We'll let you know who that is as soon as we're able to. Yep, still something special happening in the Angels game.
The end of 6.
And the Centurion is up and coming off the field. Looks like it was William Swift getting off on his own power, which is always good. So back to the action, 6:13 left in the 3rd quarter. Cypress 37, Tustin 13. Tustin going to have a 2nd down and 8. Ball located at their own 24-yard line. Little reverse action there. So it's kind of had something going there. Going to be a little pickup of a couple yards for them. Looked like that was Angel Gutierrez in the carry for the Tillies.
That's trying to end around. There is a flag on the play, so
end around
coming back.
Hey, I'd like to say hi to the best journalism teacher in the world, Miss Christy Takis, who's listening in. Glad you're with us tonight, Miss Takis. So the Tillers able to manufacture a first down there. They will have 1st and 10 at their own 47, moving the ball nicely on this drive so far. Question is there enough time for them to mount a comeback here as time ticks away? Down to 5:31 in the third. Oh, little slip screen there to the outside, but Cypress out of none of that. They went back to Angel Gutierrez that time.
That's a nice job by the corner, recognizing that, coming up to make the tackle before the offensive lineman could get out there to block him. And that's almost as a corner, you know, it's natural to want to try to backpedal and play defense to protect the deep ball, but you got to recognize those short routes and jump it, and that's exactly what the Cypress defender did.
And that's a great play that we have in our arsenal at Cypress, and that's a scary thing when you got that O-lineman going to block the cornerback. The best guy who ever ran that play at Cypress, you know who it was, Coach?
For which play?
When we would run our version of Rocket, the best guy ever at Cypress to ever run that play.
As far as the receiver?
20 yards every time he caught the ball.
Pounds?
Jared Cohen.
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah.
Automatic.
Yep.
Jared Cohen, of course, one of the all-time Cypress greats. Who
I
went on
ran
to
into
play
him not too long
D1.
ago at a restaurant.
Oh, yeah. He just got married,
around.
right?
Yep.
He played collegiately Division I football in the MAC conference at Bowling Green. Trips formation for Tustin with a tight end to the right side. Again, a little handoff, and nothing happened. Nicely spied and snipped out there. Boy, it looks like that tackle was made by your boy, Braden Schnosum.
Well, you know, he leads the team in tackles, and you can see how aggressive he is. I mean, he filled that like a linebacker, but he comes up from that free safety spot, and once he reads a run, he's like a missile.
Snowstorm just flying all over the field tonight for the Centurions. He's even been active in coverage a couple times. 3rd down and a long 18 for Tustin. Ball marked at their own 39-yard line. Pass down the middle, has a seam shot. Almost reeled in.
Guess who on the defense?
Great effort.
Braden Sjostrom. So we know he can play the run.
Yeah, he's
he can play the
everywhere.
pass. He's a Mr. Everything type player. And
Xavier Leone, great route there, just couldn't quite reel it in. Actually, you know, pretty good pass there, good touching the ball by Stupin, but as you said, Sjostrom on the coverage and preventing a first down for the Tillers.
the interesting thing about him leading the team in tackles, it's not that uncommon to have a strong safety be one of your tackling leaders, because lots of times they'll play in the box, they're up in the box being aggressive, but your free safety to come up and be that involved in the run game, that's impressive.
Punt is away for Tustin. Baldonado thought about it and then said, nah, not worth it. It's going to take a fortuitous Tustin roll and be down at the 11-yard line of Cypress with 3:14 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Score still remains Cypress 37, Tustin 13. Yeah, I think our buddy Garrett Wagner's listening in tonight too.
Hey, Garrett, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, with his dogs. So, hey, buddy, hope you're having a good evening, and of course, Mr. and Mrs. Wagner as well. Houston in again at quarterback for the Centurions, being joined by Memphis Stover in the backfield. Goes back to throw, little speed out to Monteleone, who dropped it. You know what? Trevor has been kind of quiet tonight. They haven't really gotten the ball to him that often.
No, and I mean, we have somebody like Morrell. That's one of the reasons why, of course, Cusimano's been another favorite target. But, you know, as good as Trevor Monteleone is, it's really defense where he does his damage.
Yeah.
He's a very good wide receiver, but really where he's going to earn his possible scholarship on the next level would definitely be the defensive back.
I think he's been talking to Northern Arizona University, amongst other schools.
Yeah, the Lumberjacks.
And I believe Cal Poly San Luis Obispo as well. He could definitely help the college team out, that is for sure. Houston takes a snap, fakes a handoff to Stover, hits Morrell on the little slip screen again on the inside rocket route, whatever you want to call it. And Morrell, once again, turns that into a gain of about 18.
Yeah, that's that receiver screen. He had 3 offensive linemen downfield blocking, allowing the wideout to pick up a couple more yards.
First and 10, Cypress at their own 32. See if we get Memphis Stover involved in the offense. He's lined up in a 0 position at the eye back, and then there's a toss left to Memphis. Picks up a block, recognizes the gap, and Memphis Stover is going to have himself a gain of about 20. Nice job running there for the Centurion running back.
Seems like every time Memphis is in, he runs with like a certain intensity or passion. I really like watching him run. It's like he's certainly rested, right? But he just runs with bad intentions. I like watching him as a back.
Runs with purpose, that's for sure. So the ball is going to be marked at the 45 of Tustin. First and 10, Cypress. 1:48 remaining in the third quarter. Houston taking his time. High snap, feels it nicely, and then a little toss to Stover, who picks it up off the carpet and pulls his way forward.
How about that for a little impromptu action?
Yeah, Memphis Stover just turned about a 4-yard loss into a 5-yard gain. Great effort there. Great effort. And you know what? It's effort like that that'll get you playing time. Second down and 5, Cypress at the 40 of Tustin.
Clock begins to run.
You can see Coach Feldman signaling to Aiden Houston, hey, take your time, take your time. Another handoff to Stover. Stover, bull rush, first down.
Shoulder just puts the hit on the linebacker.
Cow.
Steve Lopez is their best defender. Just took a shot from Stover and getting the first down with this momentum. It looked like he crossed the line, but it's going to bring him up 3rd and short, and it looks like Coach Feldman will just let them kill the clock and in the corner.
Not sure if that spot is accurate. Looked like what you said, Coach. Your assertion was correct. Stover fell forward, gaining enough for a first down. However, the refs didn't see it that way, and that's all that matters. So that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter. Cypress 37, Tustin 13.
Speaking of shout-outs, our buddy Kim Fikell's tuning in. He'll be doing the LaSalle game tomorrow night. They have a big one. They're at, if I believe, Newport Harbor.
Yeah.
Having an outstanding season. 2 teams have an outstanding season.
That's a great game.
Sunset League action. All the leagues really are getting underway now.
A lot going on in Orange County football, Southern California football. Hey, you know who just chimed in too? Sean Pfeiffer.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah.
Pfeiffer. He's an English teacher now, right?
Yeah, Sean Pfeiffer is an English teacher at Cypress High School. Love Sean Pfeiffer.
Is he digging it more now than
he's listening to us right now? Oh, yeah. He's having a great time being a teacher.
So, Sean, I just talked to Amber for about 5 minutes. Had a great conversation. I'll tell you said hello, even though you didn't.
Okay, so we've flipped the field. Going to be 3rd down and 2 for Cypress. Ball located at the 41 of Tustin. Aiden Houston takes a snap. Memphis Stover, first down Centurions, plus a couple extra yards for good measure. Move the sticks, first down.
Clock. Just put Memphis in there. I mean, he just grinds it out. He's just low to the ground, runs fast and hard, and gets you those tough, nasty yards.
You know, whenever you watch football, you always, make comparisons to other players. I'm thinking with Memphis, the way he runs, I'm thinking Curtis Martin. How's that?
Yeah, that's a good analogy. He wasn't necessarily a big stat freak per se, but just got you those hard-fought yards.
Yeah.
And really, when his career is over, statistically, he was one of the top running backs
of all time.
But you would never think of that when you look at Dickerson or a Sanders or
a Peyton or a Brown. Oh, there goes Houston. You're not going to catch him. Houston scampering down the sideline, lunges for the end zone. Did he get in? Touchdown, Cypress. Aiden Houston creating yards on his own, finding Cater. Like I said, Coach, I think he is the best run-pass threat in Orange County right now.
Yeah, I mean, statistically, he's certainly proven that to be the case. Boy, what a pickup for Cypress. I mean,
oh boy.
He's done an outstanding job, and of course, we know the family very well. His mom was my boss for many years in Lexington, and of course,
Amber Houston, one of the principals in our district.
In fact, it was her, Sean Pfeiffer at Lexington, and Dave Jarosky.
That's a great administration. That's a great team right there.
And we have a great one now with Emery Bernhardt, who was at Cypress for a couple of years, and Danny Klasker, who was at Cypress for a couple of years.
Yeah, we got good administration at Cypress.
But Sean Emery, dude, that was like
Mrs. Brown.
They were like one of the guys. They just was very cool vibe.
Of course, Miss Kovar and Mr. Tenorio, and MJ as our other assistant principal.
So you got to think at this point, Coach Feldman's going to start clearing out the benches and getting some other guys in. But looking ahead, after tonight, Cypress will prove to 6-0 overall, 1-0 in league. Next week, at home again against Pacifica.
Oh,
another team
rival game.
Traditionally has been like you said, a rival game, but has been struggling this year. Of course, Coach Lopez, I don't know if he was fired or resigned early in the year, and that kind of left that program in turmoil.
11:08 remaining in the ball game. Cypress firmly in command here, leading 44-13. Kickoff by Kennedy. Going to be fielded by Josiah Iano for the Tillers.
Well, like the 11-yard line, 25-yard line.
And the ball will be spotted at the 25 of Tustin, where they'll take over with 10:59 remaining in the ball game.
And then they're first
Got an update on that Angels game.
Anything special happening?
Well, they're through 7 innings, and the story is the same, but we can't talk about that.
So here's the question of the night. Sean Pfeiffer, does he bleed blue and orange or green and gold? Because remember, he was a Kennedy guy, and if I'm mistaken, his wife is at Kennedy.
Our good friend...
Is that a house divided? Does he have mixed emotions? Or
our good friend, Sean Clark, just offered up an opinion on that.
Well, I'd like to hear it.
You know what? I'll give Mr. Sean Pfeiffer the opportunity to respond to that. See what
there you go, Mr. Pfeiffer. We're waiting to read your text.
Stooping back to pass for the Tillers. Throws quick speed out to the sideline of the Centurions. Looked like the ball was reeled in for a reception there by Angel Gutierrez for the Tillers.
Getting back to Pacifica. Remember the 1CF championship Cypress won was against Pacifica. Probably one of the most exciting games. In fact, you can still find it on YouTube. They play that Rocky music like is the crescendo. Remember, they're getting wiped out at halftime.
The score was 24-7 at halftime. Who could forget?
And it was one of those things where Cypress is somehow, slowly but surely, kept fighting and getting back into it. And
Ryan Sommer of the Centurions. Coach Feldman.
The play of the season.
Coach Feldman, who was the offensive coordinator on that team way back when, had one of the best quotes ever in the local papers when asked about Ryan Sommer and all that he did for the Centurions, which was kickoff, punt return, defense, offense, everything. Coach Feldman was once quoted as saying to a reporter, he does everything for us except drive the bus to the games.
Cook the team meals.
Yeah.
Of course, that game was at Cerritos College.
Yep.
Mixed emotions of that place because my senior in high school, we lost the CF championship.
Yeah.
The Paramount. And going back to there was
Jack Manu.
kind of eerie. In fact, yeah, that was the first time I'd been back to Cerritos. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
And
those are great Paramount teams.
When we were down 24-7, I was about ready to blow that stadium up. Thinking I never want to come back here again. The boys from Cypress redeemed me a little bit. Now I can go there again and not feel so bad.
Tustin electing to punt again. Let's see who comes out on the offense for the Centurions here. 9:02 left in the game with a 31-point lead. This is about the time that Coach Feldman likes to get some of the other guys some playing time. And there we go. Elliot Lemonnier into the game for the Centurions at quarterback.
All right, my man Elliot. No, my undefeated quarterbacks as a freshman.
And hey, look, split wide out. Michael Hubbard for the Centurions. Little toss to the backfield. Looked like that was Jacob Piper getting the ball.
You know, Hubbard and I had a love-hate relationship. He was an outstanding receiver. The problem was we had such a good O-line. We had Jesse Malden, and all we did was run. And I remember going up to him time and time again after games. I almost apologized saying, "Look, I know you're good, but
Hubbard's
you got the wrong head coach if you're a receiver because we love to run the ball." But
Hubbard's a great kid. He is another student in class last year. Him and I get some very spirited discussions regarding the Las Vegas Raiders. My
you're a Raider
team.
fan? Who's his team?
Oh, he likes to root for that powder blue Los Angeles team.
Oh, he's a Charger.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bolt. Fear the Bolt.
We all know, though, the Raiders are the best team. Lemonnier to throw. Looks for Hubbard. Little high. Hubbard does his best to reel it in, but he's overthrown. Going to bring up 3rd down and 12 for the Centurions.
And I like the fact that Elliott got an opportunity to throw the ball. It's one thing to come off the bench and just hand the ball off. It's another thing to come off the bench and actually get an opportunity for some patterns, and good for him.
Well, it's kind of a precarious position. You're leading by 31. There's 9 minutes left. Obviously, you don't want to create the impression that you're trying to run the score up. But, you know, it's a weird spot because, you know, guys like Elliot Lemonnier, you want to get the throw.
And your receivers, too. They practice. They want to get an opportunity to run some routes and catch the ball. So I get the dilemma. But, you know, if you look at the Empire League and the team Cypress is going to be playing coming up, you got to think there's going to be some opportunities to clear the benches because, you know, as good as the league is, it just hasn't been a great year as far as wins and losses.
Yeah.
The opponents, in fact, I see Valencia head coach walking down the steps here at Handel Stadium, doing a little scouting.
I think the $1 million question is, as we've alluded to before, Cypress is the prohibitive favorite. However, is Crean Lutheran going to be as good as their preseason record has shown them to be? They're 5-0. And you alluded to it before when we were just talking. Wouldn't that be something if Crean was playing Cypress both 9-0?
Yeah, and I wonder if Cypress even wants that because right now, I don't want to project too far in the future, but they're right on the cusp of either being the 16th seed in Division 3 or the 1 seed in Division 4.
I'm going to take 1 and
like
D4.
You're cheering for their opponents to lose, so their strength of schedule goes down.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I think it's much better for Cypress to be the top seed in Division 4 than the bottom in Division 3. I mean, it's night and day in terms of the quality of the opponents you're going to have to face. And, you know, you look at Coach Feldman's career here, all the wins, all the championships. He's done everything. The only thing he's missing is that CF title. And I know that's something that, you know, he doesn't necessarily have to win it to validate his career, but boy, that'd be a nice feather in the cap.
But I'll tell you something. He wants it, and I'll tell you another thing. He deserves it.
100%.
Stupin still in the ball game for the Tillers. Hands off. Oh, nice little run right there. Nice little scamper for the Tillers. Picking up some extra yards there. A little second effort is Anthony Gonzalez, Josiah Ayano.
58 for the Tustin. Another man for ball. Another field.
Hey, we had Coach Cobley chime in and saying hi, and he wanted to remind us that Sean Pfeiffer went to Cyprus.
Yeah, Sean.
Uh-huh.
So I guess that answers that question.
And you just mentioned somebody a couple minutes ago. Mr. Dorosky is listening in.
Oh, nice. He says,
glad you're with us.
Fucking nice. Mr. D. You know, his boy Thomas and my daughter went to Lee together. He's 1 year ahead of her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's now at, I believe, Oak. But Dorosky lives in Rossmore, so what's going on in that Angel baseball game, by the way? Speaking of things we're supposed to talk about.
Yeah, haven't got any updates. Yeah, I'm not talking about anything here. Just nothing Angels, brother. We're just calling it a good football game between two good teams here.
Dole trying to jinx something special.
Hey, speaking of which, and I'll say this to Sean Clark listening in, how about those Dodgers setting the all-time wins record last night? How about them Dodgers? 107, most wins in the history of the
Seattle had before that, right?
116, but the Dodgers set their own franchise record.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Now just don't go 3 and out in the playoffs. What a sham that would be.
Nah, don't think so, Coach. Kai Kozai, our man on the spot, just gave us an update on the Angels.
Of course, Kai does a great job spotting for us up here in the box.
Absolutely.
His superior vision allows us to see when it's
Eagle eyes, Kozai.
First down or a little short, so we appreciate his.
He's always been known.
His eagle eyes.
Yes. Going to have a 2nd down and 2 for the Tillers, who have made their way into Centurion territory. Ball spotted at the 48 of Cyprus. 4:23 remaining in the ball game. Cyprus 44, Tustin 13. Stupin back to throw. Oh, eludes a tackle there. Lobs the ball up into no man's land, and it's going to fall harmlessly to the beautiful, lush green turf here at Handel Stadium. We'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 for the Tillers.
Sean Clark just sent me a text saying how much of a fan of the show he is and how much he appreciates us. And it got me thinking, CIF just passed girls flag football today. It's not official.
I saw that.
The state.
You know who gave me that update is our own Kai Kozai.
Oh, nice. And, you know, Sean runs FNL in Cyprus, and I think Tustin, but I wonder if that will help business. The girls already played anyway, but now more exposure.
With
more
high school, that's going to be big. That's going to be a wonderful opportunity as well. Up. So Tustin's got something going here. Josiah Ayano up the middle, going to get a big gain for the Tillers. Take the ball all the way down to the 25 of Cyprus.
Put the ball down to 25. Stop. This is another 1st down. All right, yellow in number 5. He said that the 138.
Time ticking away. Tustin electing not to use any timeouts. But you got to respect. They know what's going on.
You know, the thing about these Thursday night games is we got to work tomorrow. That's the only killer.
Everybody's got school, right?
Yep. We might be doing Kahoot.
Another handoff for the Tillers. Nice little gain. You know, I got to give credit to Josiah Ayano. You know, that looks like a potential all-league selection. You know, he's been the workhorse this evening for the Tillers. Good little running back. Seemed to go away from Quincy Hawkins the second half, though.
Well, I think at this point they just want to get out of here, stay healthy.
Second down and 5. Tustin, ball spotted at the 20 of Cypress. 2:28 remaining in the ballgame. Looks like we're going to have a false start on Tustin. Second down and 10 for Tustin.
Oh, man. I think these kids are getting paid by the hour. Let's go. Although with NIL, maybe they are getting paid by the hour.
Another penalty. I think at this point in the game, Tustin might have some of their players in the game who haven't gotten playing time, so they might be having trouble with the cadence or the snap count, perhaps, as is evidenced by the 2 recent false start penalties against the Tillers. 1:44 remaining in the ball game. Second down, 15. Tustin at the Cypress 30. 44-13 score. Week 1 of exciting Empire League play. Cypress shows blitz. Little run up the middle. Tustin. Another good little scamper there.
Tustin's still battling late in the game. The ball game's over, but they're not giving up. I'll give them props on that.
Josiah Arnold, good running back for the Tillers. Good running back. So Tustin looking to get some additional points on the scoreboard. Clock ticking down, 50 seconds in the game remaining. Stupid little, looks like a little zone left, handoff. And Tustin, looks like they're going to get some pay dirt there.
Shot. They battled to the very end, didn't give up.
Tustin
Good opportunity to get some stats and, maybe get a little momentum going to next week's game.
So, score moves to 44-19, extra point pending. Kick is up. Kick is good, 44-20, Cypress. Now, Coach, possibility of onside here. What do you think? Not trailing by 24, right?
No, it's over. Kick it deep and
get on the bus. Go home healthy, right?
Well, let's look at next week for Tustin. Cypress says, will be home against Pacifica. Tustin looks like it's going to be taking on Kennedy.
Oh.
Speaking of Clark and Akula.
Clark and Akula. I'm surprised they're not here scouting this game tonight.
Yeah, you'd think. Or maybe it's not important to them. I mean, those are things you have to consider.
Looking for Coach Dan Urbanos is probably here somewhere. But
I've been looking. I haven't seen them. And where's Rotherham? That guy, of all people, should be here coaching, but... Again, there's another guy who I don't think is all that important.
Where's Coach Rotherham for Kennedy?
I don't know.
Speaking of coaches, we got to say hi to our old buddy, Toby Howell.
Toby.
A Western legend, and his dad, of course. who was the head coach here for many years, followed by Toby.
I was hoping they'd name the stadium or the field or something after his
They
dad.
did name the gym after
the
Coach
gym.
Alex.
That's pretty cool.
They did name the gymnasium after him.
But I mean,
no.
he was a football guy. Like,
I mean, like,
why did they name the tennis courts after him?
well, we know this is Handel Stadium.
Right.
I think it would have been appropriate to call it, Howell Field, maybe.
Right, exactly. Or maybe the scoreboard or something.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think of Western football, he was the guy.
Pop-up kick to Cypress, 39 seconds on the clock. And Cypress can go into the best formation in all of football with 33 seconds left on the clock.
Best formation in football.
Victory. About done with another broadcast. Of course, we'd like to thank our wonderful production team at Cypress High School here, led by our producer, Mr. Dean Delgado, and our director, Mr. Dean Delgado.
How about all the kiddos in the booth working the headsets, working the cameras?
Great team
Getting
here
high school
tonight,
credit for this.
enabling us to bring this game to you. Definite shout out to the three here tonight.
That will do it. Cypress 6-0.
And that's going to wrap it up. Like Coach said, clock winding down, 44-20. Cypress remains perfect. Tustin still seeking their first win of the season. Perhaps next weekend as they battle the Kennedy Fighting Irish. While the Centurions take on one of their arch rivals, the Pacifica Mariners.
Hey, see if the Angels have that no-hitter going.
No, Coach.
It got broken up?
Got broken up.
Jinxed it. I knew it. Good job.
So that'll wrap it up from Handel Stadium. On behalf of Cypress Football and Coach Pontios, thanks for joining us this evening. We'll see you next week. Thank you for being here, and God bless.